The Toronto Raptors over the last couple seasons have been a consistent playoff team. Since winning the championship in 2019, they have built a solid core of players, led by Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet, OG Anunoby, and Gary Trent Jr. But after losing some key players of their championship team, this Raptors team has been trending downwards. They lost, of course, Kawhi Leonard, Danny Green, Kyle Lowry, Serge Ibaka, Marc Gasol, and they were all key contributors to that 2019 championship run. But now they're all gone, and yes, they made a really good draft pick, picking Scottie Barnes 4th overall in the 2021 NBA draft, and who they hope to be their franchise player. But this year, overall, the Raptors lost to the Bulls in the play-in, and I would say most Raptors fans would agree it was a pretty disappointing season for them. They expected, coming off from the 5th seed from last year where they overachieved, now they underachieved, and it's a really interesting spot for this Raptors team. So if you looked at the Raptors team stats for this season, they were 11th in offense, 12th in defense, and had a 41-41 record. But also something to notice is that they were 28th in three-point shooting, as we know that in the modern NBA that three-point shooting is crucial. If you look at the top three-point shooting teams in the league, they have the best offense in the league. And now that the Raptors don't really shoot that many threes, or I would say they have some three-point shooters, but this season they really did not shoot very efficiently. But it's definitely a big problem that they have to address in the future. Pascal Siakam, their best player this season, averaged 24 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists. Fred VanVleet, who was an all-star last year, had a little bit of a down year, averaging 19 points and 4 assists on only 34% from 3. OG Anunoby, Gary Trent Jr., and Scottie Barnes all averaged about 16 points on pretty decent efficiency, and honestly, they're just in a pretty weird position. And in my opinion, I think they just have to make some moves and blow some of this up. If you go down the roster, they have a lot of lengthy wings, which is that seems like the direction that the NBA is taking, but it really doesn't give the most opportunity for some of those wings, like Scottie Barnes, OG Anunoby. They're all fighting for minutes with Scottie, OG, Gary Trent Jr., Pascal Siakam, a couple other players, all deserves to be starters, and especially when you put them together, maybe it could work. If it does work, it can be really incredible, but so far, it hasn't really worked the best, and there's just a couple weird fits. I think Pascal Siakam has played really well. He had maybe his best season of his career. He had that second team NBA team a couple years ago, but Pascal was really good, their best player, and willed them to a couple wins. And I still think maybe Raptors fans won't agree, but I think they can build around him. It's a weird situation because I think they can get some really good value out of Pascal now. Maybe a team like the Blazers are willing to go after Pascal, and they can get some couple young players, a couple picks to potentially build around that alongside OG Anunoby and Scottie Barnes. And then you have the weird pairing of OG Anunoby and Scottie Barnes, and Scottie overall didn't take the leap that we hoped, but I still have a lot of hope for Scottie. You saw someone like Jason Tatum didn't play very good in his second season, but now he's a superstar pretty much. And I think Scottie, maybe he won't be as good as Jason Tatum, but you see the glimpses. He has moments where he just uses his length and his skills to take over any game. His jump shot needs work. Yeah, but he's so lengthy, he's a good defender still, which he can definitely build upon. And his offense, he's crafty around the rim, his handle maybe needs to get a little bit better, but it's pretty solid for a 6'8" guy. And he's, like I said, he needs to work on his jump shot and polish overall his offensive game. But I still really believe in Scottie. This Raptors team wasn't willing to trade Scottie for Kevin Durant. So they're really relying and they're really hoping that Scottie can take that next level jump. And honestly, I think he can. Maybe give him a couple years and let him just get the full reins of this team. Let this be Scottie Barnes' teams, not Pascal Siakam teams, not Fred VanVleet's team, but Scottie Barnes' teams. And then OG Anunoby, he's a really good player on both ends, but they just might need to change some stuff up. He's an all-defensive caliber player. His offense has been a lot better ever since they won that championship in 2019, and OG, a solid player. I think a lot of teams would be interested if they're willing to trade him, which we will see if they are. I definitely thought they would have moved him this trade deadline, but they didn't. So maybe they're seeing something that I don't see. But this offseason, they're gonna have to make a lot of big choices. All of Fred VanVleet, Jakob Poeltl, and Gary Trent Jr. are free agents. Now Freddie has a player option for $20 million. Maybe decline it if he wants that bad, because he didn't take an extension from this Raptors team, so that's definitely not a good sign. But I just think they need to make some changes. Them having a pretty high payroll and only making it pretty much not even making it out of the play-in. That's pretty disappointing, and you hope that they can at least re-sign Freddie, Poto, Gary Trent Jr., like especially Jakob Poeltl. He was a really good mid-season acquisition, and I think that as their center, they've been missing that center ever since Mark and Serge left from the championship team, and I think he can really be there. I mean, he was traded in the Kawhi Leonard trade and now traded back, which is pretty cool, but I think Jakob Poeltl, definitely an underrated defender, and he's going to be really crucial to this team. And then, what trades are they going to make? I mean, if they want to give Scotty Barnes more of a role, they might have to resume trade talks on Pascal Siakam and OG Anunoby that were happening before. There's been reports that they're willing to make a big splash. They're willing to look at trade offers for Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby, and if they can get some, like, let's say from the Blazers, they get like, I don't know if the Blazers would be willing to give up Shaedon Sharpe, but if they trade like Shaedon Sharpe, a first round pick, maybe like 2 first round picks and like, I don't know, another contract for Pascal Siakam, like that's some pretty decent like return for Pascal. And then OG, I mean, OG is the type of player that you can put on pretty much any roster. He's a 3-and-D player, gonna play defense, gonna lock up the opposing team's best player, and then shoot threes and do a little bit off the dribble. Any team wants that, like the Mavericks would so desperately want that, like the Lakers, the Heat. Any team would want that type of player, and maybe they want to keep him alongside Scotty, which I wouldn't really mind, but like it's gonna be a pretty busy offseason. I mean, also like their coach, Nick Nurse, I think there's been like talks that he's been linked to like the Rockets who let go of Steven Silence. And then like it's interesting because I think Nick Nurse is one of the best coaches in the league still. I mean, he has this like mad genius type of vibe to him where he's willing to like experiment with some of the craziest stuff, and like it works. Honestly, like that championship run, they experimented with a lot of stuff. They have so many wings on this roster, and they've tried to just experiment with it, and it worked last year. This year, well, not as well, but like I still think that they should try to keep Nick Nurse. He's still one of the best coaches in the league, and it should be a priority to definitely re-sign him. But this Raptors management, I mean, Masai Ujiri is one of the best GMs in the league, and maybe he hasn't been as good recently, but like I still trust them to make the proper moves that they can to potentially like be a really solid team. If Scotty can develop, if they can like maybe get a couple assets for either Freddie or Pascal or OG Anunoby, they can honestly make a pretty solid roster. And I'm really interested. A lot of people say to blow this team up, which I mean, if they run him back, I don't think it's going to end up very good next year, but it's going to be interesting. I think I am honestly going to expect a big move from this Raptors team, and I hope it happens. I mean, definitely try to build around Scotty, maybe like get a change of scenery for a couple of these players, maybe move on from Pascal or OG, but we'll see what happens. So comment down below what you think this Raptors team will do. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on next time.